Hi guys, Samuel Larsen here, and I wanted to talk about the universal traits that all great CRO people have. So if you want to make websites better, you probably have a lot of these traits already, and if not, you're probably going to develop them pretty soon. So I met a lot of CRO people, and there is very much a universal set of traits or personality traits, skills, abilities that these people tend to have. Now, not exactly sure why this is, and it's like it might be difficult to attribute what part of this were naturally there and what part of them were developed as they worked on. Because when you're working on a CRO field, it's a very unique thing. So being involved in it 8 hours a day is actually going to train you to even think a certain way. So what you do 8 hours a day is gonna shape you. But at the same time, we tend to go for things that we are naturally good at. So if you're really bad at chess, you're probably not gonna play chess for too long. You're gonna find some other game that is more enjoyable because you get to win, you get to play on a higher level, which is way more rewarding. So people tend to go for what they're good at, and this trains your brain. So let's jump into the traits and go over them. Now, number one thing I would say, and this probably like correlates why these people tend to be quite introverted, maybe even you would say shy, not talk very loud, etc., is humbleness. And this is a very common trait in the world of CRO because there is this thing that like everything needs to be proven. Because many people have opinions, loud mouths, and they just shout there everywhere, and they sound very convincing. And many people, like many clients, might go for these guys instead because, hey, they sound like they know what they're doing. But really the best guys, they don't appear to be the best guys because they often like set realistic targets. They go with, we need to actually test these things. We need to prove our opinions because like our opinions are just opinions. Everybody has an opinion, and they try to go and improve through that route. Then number two trait I would say is open-mindedness. Being willing to be wrong and being willing to admit like that this is, I might not know the answer to this. And this very much correlates with the humbleness as well. But it is also a willingness to keep learning, where in the 21st century, if you're making websites, you really like, you're not ready ever because the field gets new information and it's changing. It's not like history where you might actually know everything almost about a subject, but it's not a static field, it's a fluid field. So that's why you need to be open-minded, otherwise your 50% of your information will be really like irrelevant in a couple of years. And a trait that goes well with that is curiosity. So being like interested in what you're doing, being interested in the actual customer, like how he's experiencing these things, being empathetic on like how things are perceived, really having this naturally, maybe even like a childish curiosity of like wanting to learn more, being hungry in that sense, and always pushing yourself forward. And really number four trait I would say is they're highly analytical people. So they are thinkers as opposed to feelers. oftentimes they tend to be a little bit on the introverted side, probably because of this. If you're a highly analytical person, you probably are a deep thinker, and as a result, you probably don't want to talk about the weather that much or something like that. So that's one of the traits. Also, analytical mindset helps you to stay objective, which also develops your humbleness, open-mindedness, and curiosity as well. Because if you're really subjective, if you think like you know everything already, you're not going to learn much, and you're not going to be into testing. You're into just doing it and like putting something out there without really knowing whether it's going to work, just being sure that it's going to work without any proof, right? And these are an interesting bunch of traits if you think about it, because these people, they actually need to sell their services. And if you're really confident, you're probably going to be a better salesman, right? Because nobody wants to buy from a person like that are going to be like, yeah, we need to be data driven and prove our hypothesis. That's probably not going to be a good pitch. So that's going to be a problem for many people in this field. And I think smart clients also need to be able to see through this and keep this kind of thing in mind. So if you are looking for these traits with whoever is going to do CRO for you, whether it's going to be yourself or somebody else, try to really get somebody to has these traits, or if you're doing it yourself, try to be humble, try to be open-minded, and try to be as objective as possible. Because everybody has an opinion, and really the highest paid opinion really isn't worth much. It's just oftentimes it just comes from the CEO who gets paid the most, probably feels very powerful in his position, and as a result he thinks he's a design expert. And then there's a lot of times there's a little bit of a clash or a little bit of a negotiation between the CRO team and the CEO that happens. Now imagine somebody with these traits going internally into an organization and going against somebody whose brain is filled with testosterone, dopamine, and tends to not want to be challenged because he is surrounded by yes men. So that might be a problem for these kind of people and can lead to some conflicts, things not being implemented correctly, etc. So something to keep in mind in your CRO programs and wherever you are in the journey, whether you're an optimizer, whether you are just starting an optimization work, whether you're looking to hire, etc. So keep this in mind. Look for those inner traits as much as the outer functionalities, outer results, and I'm sure you'll do a lot better because of that. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.